Yeah. Yeah. But,
First responder, my ass. You're gonna need a first responder. Run through with you, boy.
You're good. Go ahead. Yes, sir. Yep.
Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
What is up, full-time family? Holy flying flipping flapjacks. I did not even really expect to do anything on my main channel covering this fight until I saw the weigh-ins, and there was some fuckery, and you know we are all about the fuckery here over at Full Time MMA. There was definitely a big drama show heading into the Camsoda Legends inaugural MMA event. I'm going to give you a brief history on what's going on because the fights are tomorrow, and I'm telling you, if any fight you want to watch, the co-main event of this match tomorrow, it's free, live streaming. They're like mixing fucking porn with MMA. I'm telling you, it's especially with there not being a UFC event for the next 3 weeks. This week there's no event, next week there's no event, and then 1 week after that we have UFC 224. But for the next 2 weeks we got no UFC, and then we have to wait 1 more week after that to get to UFC 224. So in the meantime, in between time, I'm going to be watching this Camsoda Legends card. Man, this is going to be a dope fight. Now, let's get into why. First of all, what is Camsoda Legends? It's going to be like MMA crossed over there. You can like buy coins and like bid during the fight. Like it'll call out moves. I don't know. It's going to be some weird new stuff. There's going to be, I think the girls are coming in the octagon right after all the fights are done. I think you might do some like live tipping, actual adult entertainment type stuff. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure if they do that, if you need the warning, they'll give it to you so you don't want to watch the fights with your fucking kids. You know what I'm saying? But either way, if you're in the office, you might want to check this out. On top of not just because of the fucking chicks that are, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's 95% dudes that watch, you know, the analytics for this channel. Like a lot of guys watch. There's a majority of guys. We got some chicks that watch, but when you look at the stats, it's like 93%, 90% dudes. Who watches porn? About the same ratio, so like 90% dudes. So that's why it's like they're trying to mix MMA, and I gotta admit it's a pretty good idea because I was watching these weigh-ins and these chicks, I was like, yo, all I'm saying, oh bro, by the way, make sure you go check out Full Time MMA too, because these chicks, Charles Bennett was doing a live stream right during the weigh-ins. He had his own camera. It was behind the towel and shit. That's why if you go watch the video on Full Time MMA 2, I had to cut it to the front angle because this nigga had to drop his pants for the weigh-ins because he missed weight, and he fucking forgot he was live streaming. So you know what I'm saying? His shit was flapping and whatever. He pulled his pants down, and but it was a good angle as far as when you're watching the weigh-ins. It's normally from the front, so you got to see these two beautiful women, right? But from Charles Bennett's angle, you got to see the backside, if you know what I'm talking about. You know, so I got a video of the weigh-ins from Charles Bennett's angles, also from the front angle. Pretty good view, if you know what I'm saying. But with that being said, also, after the Charles Bennett missed weight, right? We got the good weigh-ins. Oh yeah, one of the girls I was gonna say came up to the camera, realized Charles Bennett was live, and didn't even see how many people were live streaming, or they might not have gave us the same show. But they said, "Oh, you're live streaming? Watch this!" And they turned around and, you know what I'm saying, twerked for your boy Big Full Time. No, that's not who they were twerking for. But I am saying they did both, you know, and the other one had to show the other one up. All I'm saying is go to Full Time MMA 2 and watch the weigh-ins. You might enjoy it, even if you're not just to it for the fight. And so with that being said, these guys had to square off after the weigh-ins, of course, face off. Bruce Lechmedio and Charles Bennett. Charles Bennett, okay, let's get into the story. If you haven't watched my interview with Bruce Lechmedio, the guy that's going to be fighting Charles Bennett, he discussed some of the things going into this fight, where Church feels like Charles Bennett crossed the line, and I agree. Charles Bennett's a guy that's got a stern stance on suicide. Definitely don't agree with it, but he doesn't agree with suicide or whatever. He's sternly against it. So when Bruce Lechmedio, his opponent, reached out to him and said, "Yo, would you give my brother a shout out? You know, I'm a big fan of yours. You know, it'd mean a lot for you if you gave my brother a shout out." this dude Charles Bennett's like, yo, I don't fuck with Suicide, so like fuck Suicide and fuck your brother. So he's got into talking about dude's dead brother, right? So now these guys are about to be fighting. Bruce Lechmedio used to look up to Charles Bennett, but he said after he started saying that shit, not anymore. Now he's about to be fighting Charles Bennett with purpose. And in the interview, he said, I don't want to just finish this guy. If I see to the point, I want to do some no-mas shit. I'm going to fucking beat him. And when he feels like he wants to quit, I'm going to keep him in there so I can keep on beating. I'm just saying, these motherfuckers are ready to fight. Charles Bennett, he ain't scared, but you ain't got to be scared to get your ass whooped. At the same time, Bruce Lechmedio, he used to be a boxer. He's a black belt in striking. Check out my interview with Bruce Lechmedio. Make sure you check that out. Make sure you check the weigh-ins out for this fight, because also, as you saw in the beginning video of this video, these guys got into it. And as I said, I don't know if you know, Bruce Lechmedio's brother was a first responder. You learned that in the interview we did. He was deported, I believe, and ended up becoming a first responder. After becoming a first responder, he ended up committing suicide, I believe. He used to be religious, and then some of the stuff he was just seeing being a first responder over in a third world country, I believe, it was just terrible. Ended up committing suicide, and so now Felony Bennett, that's the guy he's kind of talked about. But Bruce Lechmedio, his brother, was a first responder. So as you saw at the weigh-ins, he said, you're going to need a first responder. He's not backing down. He's doubling down. But these guys are fighting tomorrow at the co-main event. There's some other MMA fights. I believe Rico Rodriguez is fighting Alex Nicholson in the main event, a heavyweight fight. And then, of course, this fight where there's a lot of stuff going into it. Felony Charles Bennett missed weight by 1 pound, but he did have an hour to come back and make weight. So I'm not sure if he was able to do that. Either way, that's not, it's not like there's not going to be a title on the line. No one really cares. I mean, people care if you make weight to be professional, but I believe Felony Charles Bennett's riding like a 7-fight losing streak at this point. We're not watching this fight to see him get to the UFC necessarily, but there's a lot going into the fight. If, someone next door or outside of your house just was about to fight and they started talking about the other person's relatives and you knew it was about to be a good fight, you're watching. It ain't about, oh yeah, you guys aren't fighting in the UFC, I don't care. This is about to be a fight. Two dudes that legit want to fight. They're about to do it legally, on top of it being on the Camsoda Legends card. So all I'm saying is, if you want to watch some fights, guess what the fuck I'm watching tomorrow? Camsoda Legends. I'll probably watch the whole card, and if my girl's at work, I'm just playing. All I'm saying is, hey, my girl might have to watch it with me, man. This is going to be a whole new UFC MMA experience. But I will be saying I'll probably be sticking around after the fights too, see what they're talking about. But with that being said, yo, my boy, who was it, Sam Beck, I think, said stop covering this bum, and he's talking about Charles Bennett. Hey, if you don't find the Charles Bennett videos entertaining, don't click them, bruh. And everything else I've been covering, like Charles Bennett got into a scuffle with Walmart security a little bit. He was trolling the Walmart employees. I mean, I don't encourage that. But then the overzealous security guard like slapped his phone out of his hand, didn't know who he was fucking with, but started to start shit with Charles. I put that on the second MMA channel, Full-Time MMA 2. So if you want to see the weigh-ins, which if you're a fucking heterosexual male, I'm telling you, you might want to check out that video. Pause. If you want to see those weigh-ins, make sure you go check out Full-Time MMA 2. Also, if you want to see Charles Bennett's Walmart encounter, check out Full-Time MMA 2. I'll put a link to the video in the description. And yeah, man, this is gonna be a fun fight. It's tomorrow and it's free, it's live. Let the Full-Time family know what you think in the comments about Charles Bennett versus Bruce Lechmedio. Bruce Lechmedio, I did an interview with him. Make sure you check that out too. I'm linking all that shit in the description. I'm into this fight. I'm fucking sold. More than the main event, more than the rest of the card, almost as much as the girls in the octagon. No, I want to watch this fight. Let the Full-Time family know what you think in the comments. I am out. And as always, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell right next to it so you're notified every time I upload a video. I'm out.
This is #1 bullshit.